Morning, my name's Robin Dadson and I live in Dartmouth in Devon with my wife. We moved here 3.5 years ago, once I'd retired, having been here many consecutive years on holiday prior to that from our previous home in Biggin Hill in Kent. Our home sits above Dartmouth, and this is the view from our living room window, looking across to the hills beyond which is the sea. We now swing round to the mouth of the River Dart, now coming up centre. Over on the other side you can see Kingswear, and in fact Dartmouth is hidden in the valley down below those bungalows. This morning there's a farmer's market down in Dartmouth, so I'm going to take a stroll down into town, have a look round, see if there's anything to be bought. So we're now leaving our home and we're going to be walking down to Dartmouth. I'll film some of the route that we normally take to walk to Dartmouth, as it's quite picturesque. This is just leaving the area where we live above town, taking the first of the several hills that we need to walk down to get to Dartmouth town centre. This actually is a one-way street, and during the week is served every half hour by a small bus, small local bus that is, that runs up from town to the residential area above. And the bus I mentioned usually comes up along here, Victoria Road. As you can see, there's roadworks, and it's been closed for about 6 or 7 weeks, which is causing some inconvenience to the people that live along Victoria Road, but more of that later. Having crossed Victoria Road, we're now going down Mount Boom. Again, as you can see, from where we live in Churchfields, to get to Dartmouth is all downhill. Quite nice going down, but not so good coming back. Thank God for the bus. Now taking the right fork into Townstall Hill, which, as you can see, is quite wide at this end. When we get a bit further down, it narrows and steepens. And that most wonderful of modern inventions, the sat-nav, causes havoc around here by directing large vehicles into this lane, and they simply get stuck. Wonderful, these things. Quite nice stroll, quite pleasant stroll. Someone's collected some leaves there. I suppose the council collects them later, or maybe it was the council, I don't know. But here we go, on down towards Dartmouth. We've now left Townstall Hill and we're entering Clarence Hill. You'll see down here where some of these vehicles, guided by their infamous sat-navs, get themselves into severe difficulties. I know at least one guy that brought a van down here and ended up bouncing down the steps on the right hand side. Not a good idea, particularly when pedestrians frequently use this hill as a shortcut to their residences above the town. Stupid things. From Clarence Hill we now turn right and go down Brown's Hill, which is very quaint. It's actually steps all the way down. Of course, it's the 12th of November today, but a lot of these places during the sun months have wonderful displays of flowers in baskets and pots outside. Makes it look very picturesque. Now reaching the bottom part of the slips, we come to the more central part of Dartmouth. And in actual fact, a lot of Dartmouth is reclaimed land over the centuries, and much of where we'll be walking hundreds of years ago would actually have been underwater or mud. There we are, at the bottom. You saw the pots that I referred to as we came down. When they flower in the summer, it really is nice. Now we turn in towards Dartmouth and what is known as Foss Street. That's opposite. Down there is Foss Street. We're now within the market square of Dartmouth. Years ago this would have actually been underwater. So this land we're now standing on is actually reclaimed. And I think the market was built sometime in the 1800s. Just have a little walk around the market. Not quite so much here today. It's actually busier in the summertime. There's a stalls in the covered part of the market. As I say, not so many here now, winter time, as there would be during the summer. But there's still quite a lot of local produce for sale. Linda, how are you? This is Linda Howard, who runs our local pet shop. Very nice lady, used to supply us with food when we came down here on holiday and deliver it to the farm. So there we are, this is Linda in the market in Dartmouth with her pet shop. Now I've just come out the market, which is there on the right, the white building, and that's the other end of Victoria Road, which is closed at the moment. So buses can no longer follow their usual route, hence the inconvenience to people living along the side of this road, which has quite a good number of residential places. Very sad. This is the other end of Foss Street. Foss Street, so called because it was once a foss, or a dam, which used to hold back the waters from the inlet, which actually covered the market square we've just visited in medieval times. And the name Foss lingers on. I'll take a stroll down Foss Street before I go down onto the riverbank. There's a ship in, and I like to photograph any ships that come in the river. Here's the River Dart. Railway that first brought me to Dartmouth runs along the opposite bank. Now a private heritage railway, and that's Kingswear Station. Another reason for strolling down today was, as I said before, ship in the river. And I always make a point of photographing any ships that come in. Didn't expect this one. And there she is. Now for the river is to the left of the photo that you've seen now. We come round, or I shall stroll in a minute and take some more photographs. The old station there, the yellow building middle. Used to be a fully fledged station with no railway lines. You have to cross the river to Kingswear to get your trains. Well, I've made my way down to the south embankment by obviously following the river. One reason to get a better shot of the ship that's in, which appears to be a naval vessel, which, if I remember rightly, she's something to do with the Antarctic patrol, ice patrol, and that sort believe. All that's fair to it. Anyway, she's in, so I've made my way down to carry out my usual practice of photographing anything that comes in the river. Now I'm going to take a stroll around town before going back and doing the main shopping at Sainsbury's at the top of the hill. Now walking up Smith Street, I'm going to pop back to the Market Square. Just up here you'll see the Singing Kettle tea shop, which is much frequented by my wife and some friends of hers.
Yeah, have a nice weekend. And I'll see you Monday. Yeah, see you Monday. Yeah, you take care. Yeah, bye, love.
And next to the Singing Kettle is my local, the 7 Stars. Oldest pub in Dartmouth. I'll be in there tonight. Maybe bring the camera down, take a bit of film. As it's supposed to be a day in my life. So, on by the 7s. St Saviour's Church. And back down round. This actually is the medieval centre of old Dartmouth. Sadly, we had a terrific fire about 18 months or so ago, which burned down some very old houses. I understand they're being rebuilt, should be opening soon. But here was the pillory, and this was the centre of medieval Dartmouth. Well, I finished my little stroll around town, so now I'm going to get the little bus back up the hill, which is there, and then we'll have to go and do some shopping. I usually do the shopping because they're indoors, that is Jackie. My wife, she doesn't drive, so it's easier for me to do it. The old gulls singing away. I'll show you what happened with the bus, where it has to go. Very inconvenient.